everyone, welcome to our channel of Nagesh Karasgi Orchid School. My name is Kajal Kulkarni and I am going to teach grade 5 SST. Okay, so before starting, I will ask you all one question. When the teacher enters the class in the morning, what does she do? Yes, she will first take your attendance, right? So, attendance, today I am taking the attendance and in my class 5 girls are absent and 2 boys are absent, okay, total 7 students are absent. Now, after 10 days, someone is coming and asking me that on that particular date, how many students were absent, how many girls were absent, how many boys were absent, then what will I say? What will I do? I will take my catalog, right, and I will see on that particular day how many girls who were absent and how many students were absent, right. So, in this way I came to know after many days or after few days also, if someone asks me the question, I am able to answer to that question, right. So, how I am able to answer the question? Because I have kept the record of that, right. So, if I keep the record, then what will happen? It will be easy for me to communicate later whenever I am asked, right. So, if suppose I will give one more example. If I am having a very good idea, okay, if I will take about one business, if I am having a good idea to start a business, okay, but that idea is only in my brain, it is only in me, but how I will share to others? I may speak and share it with others, or I may write it and share with others. So, we are having 2 types of record keeping, one is orally and one is written. So, now you tell me that if the record is kept orally, how many people will get the advantage of that record? Yes, very few. Why very few? Only those who are listening or only those who are present in front of me, they will know that idea. But those who are not there in that room, or if the students are not there, then what will happen? They won't know that, right? But if that idea is kept in written, then anybody, whoever new person comes and read that person will also come to know what my idea is or was, right. So, today we are going to see all about recording and communicating knowledge, okay. So, shall we start? Chalo, we will start. So, in this chapter what we are going to see, the importance of written communication. As I told, how it is important. If I have kept the record in written, anybody can take the record, refer to that record and utilize the points whatever are mentioned in that record, right. So, my knowledge is not limited, I am spreading my knowledge to n number of people. Then the development of scripts and ways of writing numbers. See how the numbers and scripts were written in olden days. Then the making of paper and development of printing. Braille, a script for the visually challenged people. Okay, visually challenged mean those who are blind. So, we will start with our chapter. We have seen in the last chapter that we send messages in 2 different ways, by speaking or by writing. Writing is a way of recording or storing words and ideas. People can read them at any time and at any place. Okay, now I told you all that we are having 2 methods of conveying the message. So, how we can convey the message? One, with voice. When we are talking on phone, we are communicating with the help of our what we say verbal, it is verbal, orally we are conveying the message. and when we are sending some letter or some written matter, that is a writing message. So, in writing message, it is possible that we can refer that message whenever we want, okay. Whenever we want to read that message, we can read it. So, it is a storing words and ideas wherein we can utilize it whenever we want to use it. Then long ago in ancient India, for example, knowledge was passed on orally from generation to generation. See, now if we talk about our ancient what we have seen in Ramayana, Mahabharata, they had gurus. Yes, they were having gurus. So, were they teaching them ABCD? No, they were teaching shloks, mantras, right? Then behavior, how you behave with and what discipline you should have in y'all. So, all these things were taught to them. So, there was no written copy of this. So, it was just limited to those time. So, now it is said that in ancient India, the knowledge was passed on only orally, there was no written copy. So, the oral knowledge what was there, it was limited to those number of people and it was not passed on later on to other generation. It was not recorded in a written form. Because of this, knowledge was communicated to a very few people. This way also resulted in the loss of knowledge. Now see, as I told that what is happening if suppose I am having some very good idea about some topic, and if suppose I suddenly die, what will happen? That idea will be buried along with me, means that idea is not carried forward. So, in this way, earlier they were only having oral communication. So, due to this the knowledge was limited to very limited, and what happened? Then the knowledge it became limited and many of them were not getting those good knowledge or information. Then slowly better methods of recording and communicating knowledge came into place. See, this is the earliest form of written communication in the form of pictures. See, people used to draw pictures to communicate when they were not having any language to speak. So, they used to draw on stones or they used to carve it on stones and communicate with each other. Now, these cave paintings from Bhimbetka in Madhya Pradesh are more than 10,000 years old. See, you can see it is so old. So, people were not knowing any language to speak. So, how they used to communicate with each other? In the form of pictures. Okay. Now, next is the written communication. The earliest form of written communication was through pictures, as I showed you all. Pictures mainly of animals have been discovered in caves in which early humans lived. But making pictures took a long time. Gradually, the pictures were replaced by signs and symbols. The Sumerians of Mesopotamia, now Iraq, were the first to develop a system of writing called a script using signs over 5,000 years ago. Now, this written communication, as I showed you all the picture that people were drawing the pictures on in the cave. Now, where they used to live? People used to live in cave. Why they were living in the cave? So that they can be protected from the wind, sun or the wild animals. To protect themselves from all such circumstances, they used to live in the cave, and in the cave itself they used to draw these pictures, and mostly see, you can see the pictures, in the pictures there are animals, see these are birds, right. So, most of the time they used to draw the pictures of animals, and these drawing used to take a lot of time. See, when I am talking with you all, so talking is much more easy, right. talking with each other or communicating with each other is much more easy orally. But if that communication is to be done through the help of drawing, it becomes very, very difficult and it takes a long time, right. So, you all must have seen that sand art. People are nowadays the sand art is done, right. So, in that sand art they are passing some messages. So, this sand art, it takes time, right. So, to pass a message, the oral message, now I am speaking, so I am speaking so fast. So, that messages are sent much more faster than whatever we draw or we show in the form of art. Okay. Then gradually the pictures were replaced by signs and symbols. The signs and symbols were used to communicate with each other. Then the Sumerians of Mesopotamia. Now Mesopotamia is now known as Iraq. Iraq was earlier known as Mesopotamia. Okay. So, there was the first development of writing. The script was written using signs. How many years ago? 5,000 years ago. Now, these whatever the scripts they have found, see now also when the places are, the digging of the place is done, that time whatever the ancient things are found, the means whatever very old things are found, those things when the scientists, when they are trying to evaluate, means what the thing exactly, what the message exactly is, it is very difficult to know what language or what message they are trying to tell. Okay. So, they wrote their signs on blocks of clay called tablets. Now, see this is the Sumerian system of writing. So, can you understand from this what is written exactly? See, they are just putting some signs which is very difficult. Now, what these two holes, are they eyes or what they exactly want to show in this picture? It becomes very, very difficult to know what exactly message they want to pass, but only they were knowing. See, we are not knowing this because we are not in that era. So, the people who were living in that time, they were knowing all this message, what they exactly want to say. Okay. So, this tablets, these are called as tablet. This it is a clay, block of clay, and this block of clay is called as tablet. Okay. So, many of these tablets have been discovered. Many tablets, when the digging of the place is done somewhere, these tablets, many tablets are found from here and they are trying to read out what exactly they want to say, but it is very difficult to recognize. Many of these tablets have been discovered. The Egyptians developed a script using pictures and symbols about 500 years ago. The Chinese and Japanese scripts are based on pictures and symbols even today. See, this is the Chinese, see here, this is the Chinese symbols and signs which even today they are using. You all must have seen on the flags also, on some flags they, if they want to write some message. So, these are the symbols. Now, this symbol, first one, stands for beauty. This symbol says that it is the spelling word beauty. See, in your book if you will open and you will check, you will find that this symbol means beauty. This symbol means clarity. This encourage, destiny, flower, then forgiveness. It is very difficult to read it, but just try it. Even I am trying it. It is forgiveness. This symbol means friend. Grace. This symbol means grace. Happiness, harmony, honor, love, moon, peace, spirit, star, sunrise, tranquility, truth and wisdom. See, these symbols are still used in China even today, China and Japan. Okay. So, most languages today use the system of the alphabets. Alphabets are nothing but symbols representing different sounds human produce. See, now you all know alphabets A, B, C, D, E, F, G, yes. So, from A we say mostly whenever someone asks A, so we say apple, A. So, this A is the phonic sound. So, in this way, using the phonic sound, the alphabets were made. Okay. So, this is the Brahmi script. See, you can see A, Ba, Bha, Ga, Gha. These are the symbols of Brahmi script. Okay. And these are nothing but phonic sounds. Okay. Okay. So, the first proper alphabet system to be used was probably developed in Syria about 3500 years ago. About 50 different alphabet systems are used in world today. The Roman alphabet, which is used to write the English language, has 26 letters. See, now the alphabets which were developed, they were first developed in Syria. The proper alphabet system, it was developed in Syria about 3500 years ago, and 50 different types of alphabets are used in the world today, and these mostly we use the Roman alphabets, which are A, B, C, D. Okay. So, the oldest script in India was discovered in the seals of Indus Valley civilization. Now, this Indus Valley civilization means it was before Christ, before Jesus Christ was born. Before that, this was there. So, the Indus Valley civilization, I will show you the picture here. See, in this way they used to communicate. Can we understand? See, it is very difficult. If we see, I think this is some person sitting. See, it depends now what we are thinking. I can see the X here, but what exactly the message they want to pass, it is very difficult to understand. So, this is the script written during the Indus Valley civilization. Okay. The next, no one has yet been able to read the script. Later, the Brahmi and the other script were discovered. Most scripts used to write Indian languages today have been derived from the Brahmi script. So, today whatever we are writing is in India, whatever we are writing is derived from Brahmi script. The Devanagari script is used to write Hindi and some other Indian languages. Now, Devanagari means we can write, we can say about Marathi and Hindi, Ka, Kha, Ga, Gha, what we use. So, that is called as Devanagari script. Okay. Then comes the writing of numbers. See, in olden days, people were not knowing numbers, that this is called as 1, this is known as 2, this is known as 3. So, how they were doing the counting of the things? So, they used to collect the stones and show it that this is 1. You may say they were collecting stones, or they were collecting the sticks. So, whatever the number they wanted to tell, if suppose I am having 2 brothers. So, what I will show? I will show 2 sticks, that these 2 and brothers. So, in this way they used to tell the numbers. So, then how slowly the numbers were introduced. In the early days, sticks and stones and even pictures were used to count. Early humans used pictures and symbols to keep record of numbers. For example, to keep the record the number of animals they killed. Now, they used to kill animals. So, how many animals they killed? So, if they wanted to keep the record of that, they were drawing the pictures. In the form of pictures, they used to show that this many number of animals we have killed. Okay. See, we in smaller classes in nursery, LKG, UKG, you all are giving count and write, yes or no? So, we draw the trees, we draw mountains, we draw suns, chocolates, and those number of things we have to count and write the exact number. So, in that way earlier the people used to keep the record of counting. The Romans developed a system of writing numbers in which 7 symbols were used to write numbers. See, these are the methods: Brahmi, Arabic, medieval and modern. Okay. Medieval means middle age was going on in that time. This kind of numbers were written in this way. Then modern, what we are now, we are writing 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So, this is the modern. And Brahmi, how 0 means blank, 1 means just one single line, 2 means 2 lines, 3 means 3 lines. See how 4 is written. So, this is 1, 2, 3 and 4. In this way they used to do the counting and calculations. Okay. The Romans developed a system of writing numbers in which 7 symbols were used to written numbers from 1 to 1 lakh. The common system of writing numbers used in most parts of the world today is the Hindu-Arabic system. This system was developed in India more than 2000 years ago. The Arabs took it to Europe. The beauty of the system is that it uses only 10 symbols from 0 to 9 to represent any number, no matter how large it is. Now, see, if I want to write 10, so I will use the number from 0 to 9. Okay. So, from 0 to 9, I will use 1 and 0. If I want to write 1 lakh, so see here, it is 1 and then so many zeros. It is understood, 9 and then so many zeros. If I want to write 9,48,342. So, what I will do? I will use those from 0 to 9 only. So, this was the magic they were supposing, that it is like a magic, that from this 0 to 9 we can make n numbers of large numbers. So, whatever the number may be, it was coming from this 10 numbers 0 to 9. Okay. Then how paper was made? About 4000 years ago, the ancient Egyptians used the stem of plant called papyrus to make paper. See, in Egypt about 4000 years ago, how the people started making or writing? See, to keep a record, we need something. So, to keep a record, we need paper. See, now your books, the books are a mean of keeping record. So, how the record is kept? With the help of paper, something is printed on paper. So, same way, about 4000 years ago, the ancient Egyptians, means in Egypt, how they made paper? They made paper from the stem of a plant which was called as papyrus, and this word paper is derived from this word papyrus. Okay. So, true paper as we know it today was first made by Chinese about 1900 years ago. See, what paper now we are using, what exactly we are writing the in books or textbooks, whatever are there, that paper was made by in China. Okay. The Chinese made the first paper around 1900 years ago. It was probably made from the bark of trees. How they made it? From the bark of trees. The bark was made into pulp and then spread out in thin sheets and let to dry. Today, wood pulp is used to make paper. See how the things kept on changing. 4000 years ago, Egyptian, they started in Egypt, they made the paper from papyrus. How papyrus was derived? The stem of a plant was cut and that material was used to make paper. So, the word paper is also derived from the word papyrus. Okay. Then exactly what we are using now is made by China. It was first made by China and around 1900 years ago. And how they made this? They cut the trees and the bark was used. So, bark they used to make it in the pulp form. Pulp means how the mango pulp is there. Mango juice we get, no, when we bring the mango, the pulp which we remove from that mango. Same way, the bark, the pulp was removed from that and that pulp was allowed to dry in very thin sheets and that was used as paper. Then today how we are using the paper which is made, how it is made? It is made from the pulp of wood. Now, did you know? So, earlier we used to cut the trees and all that and we used to keep the record. But now if we want to keep record in school, we have so many records. So, how we keep the record? In computers. Now, papers, we are minimizing the use of paper. So, due to this we are using more and more computers. So, the written word and picture need not be stored on paper now. They can be stored on computer storage devices such as CDs, DVDs, pen drives and hard disks. These require far less storage space than paper. See, in book when we write, few write very big handwriting, few have very small handwriting, few have medium. So, according to their handwriting, what happens? The number of pages increases. So, this paper work requires more pages, but if the same thing is done in computer, so what will happen? It will require very less space. Paper was invented before printing. Before printing was invented, paper was invented. So, paper was invented before printing. Earlier, books had to be written by hand on paper. This was slow and laborious. Books were therefore very rare. They were only available to a few people. Now, earlier printing was not there. Okay. In last session, in our last chapter, we had seen about printing also. So, printing was not there. So, how people used to do? They were now having papers. Papers were there. To keep record, papers we were having. So, how to keep the record then? So, everything was done with handwritten. So, the story books you may say, or the books to refer or to keep the record, anything, it was all done by hand. So, to write a story book with our own hand or handwritten, it was taking a lot of time and it was very laborious. See, laborious means something that is very what we say, it needs a lot of people to do, right. So, this laborious means here if I want to write 5 books, so imagine how long it will take to write the 5 books. If suppose each book is having 100 pages, so it will take such a long time to write those 5 books. So, it was known as, means this is called as laborious work. Okay. So, earlier paper was invented before printing. So, what happened? Books were to be written and the record was all handwritten. So, to keep the record in handwritten, means it was a laborious job to write everything, keep on writing every time. So, that was a laborious job. Okay. So, here I will stop today. What you have to do? You have to read the chapter again. Okay. Read from starting till what I have explained, till paper, and then printing later on what the points are there, you have to read. Okay. And underline the words which are difficult. Till then, thank you.